Now, this third article regarding a person or a player that was linked to the Knicks or has been linked to the Knicks is going to be Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry was linked to the Knicks. I was actually okay with Kyle Lowry coming if he was going to come at a reasonable deal. But once you see this headline, it's like, yeah, he's not coming here. Don't pick up the phone. Don't call his agent. Don't schedule any meetings. We're fine. Hey, what's going on? This is Sports Vibes TV. I'm your host, Quis, and in this video, we're going to be looking at some news reports discussing what the Knicks might do in the offseason. Now, these reports, they kind of went under the radar, seeing that the Knicks have just finished a phenomenal regular season, and we're preparing for the Hawks. Now, these stories are pertaining to what we're going to do in the offseason, and they're coming from reliable sources. The first one is going to be coming from Woj. And let's just go right over to the article. Now, this article is from Bleacher Report, but they're reporting on what Woj said during his Woj pod. Now, as you can see, it says the New York Knicks are reportedly in the market to add a star player during the upcoming season. On Tuesday's episode of the Woj pod, beginning at the 38:20 mark, ESPN NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski said the Knicks are on disgruntled star alert, meaning they could be a landing spot for a star player who demands a trade during this season. Wojnarowski noted that while he isn't sure who the Knicks will do much in free agency, he expects them to take some big swings in the trade market. Now, to me, that's very important. You know, I read that and it sounds like we're going to be bringing the gang back next season. If we're not going to be doing too many moves in free agency to add some depth, then that means we're expecting to bring back Rose, Burks, Bullocks, Noel, some combination of that four. Since the Knicks have been one of the NBA's most pleasant surprises this season, as they've finished fourth in the Eastern Conference at 41-31, giving them their first playoff berth. Now, this is going a little bit more in depth into the season. What I'll do is I'll leave a link down in the description if you wanted to read the article in its entirety. But like, as you can see, when I started the video, I had three players on the right side of the screen. They were Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. Now, Zach LaVine has been linked to the Knicks on numerous occasions. Same thing with Bradley Beal. And to me, nothing really changes. I really don't think those two would be the best fit for this team. Beal, yes, he is a bucket getter, but you know, I understand that he can go out there and be instant offense. But the thing is, to go out there and spend the kind of draft capital and send away the type of young talent it would take to bring Bradley Beal here, I just think it's not a good fit. Same thing with LaVine. We're gonna have to send way too much in assets in order to bring them over. The Bulls, they've already invested in Nikola Vucevic, and to then go and decide to trade Zach LaVine, we're gonna have to give them a haul just to entice them to do something like that. So for that, I really wouldn't be looking forward to an acquisition of that magnitude in the offseason if we're gonna do it via trade. And you're seeing Woj say, doesn't sound like we're gonna be doing it via free agency. The thing with Beal and LaVine as well, I'm not sure how they're gonna fit with Julius Randle. Right now, Julius Randle, the offense is flowing through him. If we bring in a Zach LaVine, if we bring in a Bradley Beal, how is that going to affect Julius Randle's performance? Are we gonna see him take a step back? Because if we're gonna be making a big move, I would rather make a move that's going to make life easier for Julius Randle without taking the ball out of his hand. Now, if we at least have a point guard that's able to facilitate and orchestrate the offense, then you can at least see when the ball's taken out of Julius Randle's hand, he can still at least operate in some pick and rolls, things of that nature. That's why if we're gonna make a big move, a splash move, I would prefer it be a point guard or a 3-and-D wing. And Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, they're neither nor. I also had Devin Booker. I know you guys are probably going to say in the comments, it's highly unlikely that Devin Booker gets moved. And I won't disagree with you there. I'm just trying to speak it into existence because you never know. CP3 is he's on a 2-year deal, including this one. He can opt out next year. and then become a free, or he can opt out this offseason and become a free agent. So if he were to do that, he could move on from Phoenix if they're not able to sustain a deep playoff run. And he would do that because he's getting up there in age. And for CP3, it would make sense while he's still performing at a high level, while he's still being credited for taking the Phoenix Suns to the playoffs. He could probably sign a 2-year deal or maybe even a 3-year deal, as long as it doesn't take him past 38. And that way at least give him some more money and a little bit more security. So you never know. Devin Booker could potentially be available. It's not likely, it's not probable, but could be a possibility. And we should definitely be on the phones just verifying whether or not he's going to be available or not. Now, another player that's been linked to the Knicks and that we have some news on is going to be Lonzo Ball. Now, the thing with Lonzo Ball is, a lot of people were saying there's no need to trade for Lonzo Ball because Lonzo Ball is going to leave New Orleans and New Orleans is not going to match. Well, it looks like Lonzo Ball is saying he would love to return to the Pelicans. Now, I understand that's something a lot of players say just for appearances. But, you know, if what he's saying is true, then this might be a potential point guard option that the Knicks may be unable to pursue. And he's saying he loves playing in New Orleans. He's saying he loves playing with Zion and Ingram. Where is it? Here we go. So it says, but even in spite of those realities, Ball is optimistic about his future with the New Orleans Pelicans. He will be a restricted free agent this offseason and is hoping that he will be able to return to the team he has played for over the past 2 seasons. That's a conversation between me and my agent moving forward, but obviously I would love to be back, Ball told reporters on Monday via ESPN. I built a bond here with the coaches and the teammates who are here. I definitely wouldn't mind coming back at all. Now, if you're in the Lonzo Ball camp where you want him to come to the Knicks and be our starting point guard, those are definitely words you're not going to want to hear. And could it just be a front? You know, potentially. But if you're looking at the way the cap situation is kind of spread throughout the league, or what kind of cap issues these teams are going to be dealing with in the offseason, there's not going to be a whole bunch of teams that have an abundance of cap space to really offer Lonzo something crazy. So if you're going to not have as many suitors, and if the Chicago Bulls, you know, there were some reports that the Bulls were linked to potentially trading for Bradley Beal in the offseason. So if you take away the Chicago Bulls as a suitor, if they go after Bradley Beal, then you kind of just have the Knicks left. And if the Knicks are just the only team in the negotiation process, then that's going to bring Lonzo Ball's price down. And you might say, hey, that's good for the Knicks. But to be honest, that might be bad for the Knicks as well, because if that price comes down to a price point that the New Orleans Pelicans feel comfortable with, all they're going to do is match and keep Lonzo. Lonzo has gotten better year over year, and he's played his best this season. He's been shooting phenomenal from 3-point. He's kind of worked well off ball of Zion in those catch and shoot situations, and he's able to find Zion in fast break situations, alley-oops, things like that. So there's synergy between the two. So I can definitely see the New Orleans Pelicans deciding to match Lonzo Ball if it's not a crazy figure. I think what the Pelicans had offered Lonzo before free agency was right around 11 mil. So 11 mil per year. So if we have a number maybe at 14, 15, if we're able to get him at that price point, I honestly wouldn't be shocked if the Pelicans matched. Even if they were going to match and decide to move him later on down the line, at least you're not losing an asset for nothing. Now, this third news story, and for the Lonzo Ball story, I'll have all the articles down in the description. So if you guys want to read up a little bit further, you can go ahead and do that. Now, this third article regarding a person or a player that was linked to the Knicks or has been linked to the Knicks is going to be Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry was linked to the Knicks. I was actually okay with Kyle Lowry coming if he was going to come at a reasonable deal. But once you see this headline, it's like, yeah, he's not coming here. Don't pick up the phone. Don't call his agent. Don't schedule any meetings. We're fine. It's saying Raptors Kyle Lowry on 2021 NBA free agency. Money talks, years talk, not retiring. Well, right now, I think the Knicks are in a position where we can go to the negotiating table and we can tell players it's either one or the other. We have a winning culture that we're starting to build. We still have the advantage of this market. So there's no reason the Knicks should be going into any negotiations and saying, we're going to give you both what you want. And that's big money in a lot of years. Unless you are a superstar. There's really not, Kyle Lowry really isn't that type of point guard for us to be going out there and doing that. I wanted Kyle Lowry to come in and be a mentor, play for the cheap, and take IQ or whatever point guard we draft in this draft class and kind of take him under the wing and kind of school him. That's what was in my mind. That's my thought process. But to see what he is saying now, he should definitely be off the Knicks radar. See, Toronto Raptors point guard Kyle Lowry said Tuesday the value of the contract offers and the ability to compete for titles will be crucial to this decision as an unrestricted free agent this offseason. Money talks and years talk, Lowry told reporters. At the end of the day, I want to make sure my family is taken care of for generations. Now, I can't fault any NBA player for trying to get their money. The only people I can fault is our front office for being the ones to give it to them. And we should not be the ones dropping a bag for Kyle Lowry. Like I said, I would have accepted him for a reasonable deal, but you're talking big money in big years. No, that's going to be a hard pass for the Knicks, in my opinion. So you guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. Are some of these moves something that you would like to hear? Is this good news to you? I know if you didn't want Lonzo Ball, the fact that he's now saying he's having a quote unquote, attachment, or he's got this bond with New Orleans that might factor into him re-signing. So if you don't like Lonzo, that's probably good news. And if you really want us to go out there and get a big ticket superstar via trade, then the first news article that I read to you is probably something that you really enjoy. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Once again, I'm Quis, host of Sports Vibes TV, and I'm out.